So I decided that I am going to treat myself every day, as I always do. Normally people think that treating yourself means going out on an expensive date or waiting for a call or text from someone who isn't even thinking about you. So instead, I decided to wake up and paint, get into my art, because this is how I ground myself. So I'm about to go ahead and start my day. Look at my locks and how far they've grown. Coming along. Let's go to the donut shop. Let's get the day going. I have some clips of a donut shop that I decided to take the kids to. If you're familiar with this donut shop, I want you to drop some donuts in the comments. So here in Central Valley, Bakersfield, California, I always see this restaurant. There's a few of them in LA as well. I can't remember if I ever seen one in San Diego. But yeah, this is Yum Yum Donuts. Every time I go to the donut shop, I still get the same one. I'm a cake donut fan. And usually it's just a regular cake donut, no velvet, no chocolate. But sometimes I try to be different. If it's not a cake donut, then I want a raspberry or strawberry filled donut. So yeah, I'm gonna let them choose whatever donut that they want to get, since I did ask KK to take you guys in here to see the donuts that they have. I don't know why she's still standing at this one, but move around. Why he look at me like that, y'all? All I did was say, I'm gonna take this boy. Oh, I see why.
Yes.
Because I always get on him about his penmanship.
There we go.
Cover it up. Boy, bye.
What?
Nervous and took that jacket off. I don't mean to make you nervous, Seven. Just come with it, okay? Look at him looking all responsible and whatnot. Yeah, returning them library books. He said he wanted to keep a few of them. I'm all in his business, of course, as usual. I had to put the camera on him because he looks so cool getting his library books. He really, really does enjoy reading, so I gotta give him that.
All right, and the ones that we want to renew.
Is them all the same? No, it's the big one.
Yeah.
Usually what he'll do is take a bunch of books, check them out, and read as much as he can. For the ones that he do not get a chance to complete, he'll bring it back, renew it, and then continue reading whenever he gets home.
Yep.
I'm bringing them books back. Right, so let's get to what I came here for. I'm headed to the genealogy room. I had to take the elevator up. Check this out. I get to the genealogy room, and here is the aisle. And one thing I noticed immediately was the Tennessee section. So Davidson County is Nashville, and I've lived there before. I was looking for Madison County, but I couldn't find Madison County. I saw a lot of interesting books, from, marriage and like grants, land, the Civil War, of course. Did I say marriage? All right, guys, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. I want you to follow along with me. Right now, here, we're looking at Liddy Brown, born estimated around 1920, and she is 7 months old. She was located in Tennessee, and she is the daughter to Moses and Georgia Brown. Okay, this is a very peculiar thing to me because I'm following this Moneth Brown and the siblings here, because Moneth is a name that rings a bell to me, right? And the reason why I'm following along with it is because as I am learning about how to locate families by using the census. I'm learning that each person who's registered or recorded in a sentence is always going to be recorded in like the year prior. So 1920 is when this census was recorded. Liddy was born the year 1919. Here's her siblings along with her mother and father, Georgia and Moses, and the same siblings. Follow along with me because the month, or this Mutt, because Mutt is a name that I'm familiar with, and Munith Brown is a name that I'm familiar with, okay? Because these names are so familiar, I said I'm going to continue following. So this is the 14th census of the United States of 1920. This is so cool to me how they were able to document these records and scan it and keep it. I have been fascinated. When I tell you, I'm so fascinated. So in my findings, I have been able to connect Liddy Brown, 7 months, to the actual name of Hattie Brown. This is fascinating to me because for forever I have found it very difficult to locate Hattie's parents, like mother, right? I knew she had a father named Moses Brown, but I didn't see where the connection with Georgia Brown was found. But it wasn't until I kept going through the Census Bureau to see that there's a Liddy Brown, and the way that it's spelled, the cursive writing, that could easily be mistaken for a Hattie versus a Liddy. And I also learned that Georgia Brown passed away when Liddy, who is known as Hattie Brown today, was a baby, young, probably about 2 years old maybe, because she passed away in 1921. So I'm holding on to that information. Here I'm finding more information because I've gone ahead past Georgia Brown, and then now this is Rebecca, which is supposed to be the mother to Georgia Brown. The way that I found out that she's the mother is because on the death certificate of Georgia Brown, W.M. Guthrie had signed off as the father. He is the husband to Rebecca. And so I could only be left to assume that Rebecca is the mother. Okay, so I decided to, end the search for the day because I had to go get my sweetest thing, my daughter, and take my son them out to their activities. And so I just found it very fascinating, as I was saying in the video, to be able to locate the information that I have so far. For so long, here's the order. I have it's me, my mom, my grandma, her mom, me, Jacqueline, Aura, Hattie, what we know now as Liddy, Georgia. After Georgia, it would be Rebecca. So far, that's about 6 generations of women, mothers, whatever, that I was able to locate and find. Very cool to me. I just cannot believe how I had to discover Hattie Mae Brown's mom based off of the information that I found. Like I said, I knew Hattie Mae Brown. That's the name that I knew. And she passed away in 1997. After 1997. So I was at least about 6 years old. And so I kept trying to figure out who is Georgia because the names were there. Like Georgia had names that I was like, okay, I could see where, but who, how, right? And I only was able to really associate those names because of the Moses, which is the father. And for so long, my understanding was that when you're doing genealogy, that you're supposed to find the father. But it really is the mother, the womb, that you're supposed to be looking up the matriarch lineage when you're doing genealogy. So I just kept looking for the father, the father, the father. So Moses, boom, Georgia. But who is Georgia? And I didn't see anything else that would have led to find Georgia and locate it where she was, or to find Hattie Mae to be where she was in Jackson, Tennessee. And now I understand why. It is because she was born and then her mother passed away at a very young age. And now the next thing that I would like to do is to be able to figure out what was Moses doing after the passing of his wife. Did he become a widow? Did he raise his kids alone? Did he get remarried? Where did he relocate to? Because my knowledge is that there's Hattie Mae and her husband Ned, which is my grandma's dad. Hattie Mae and Ned. I just realized that Ned is also a junior, so his father's name was Ned. And so you got Ned, and then you have, who's Ned's wife? I have to figure that part out too. Ned's wife. I'll figure it out. But my goal here is to document all of this because I want to make sure that my siblings can see what I found and how I was able to find it. I'm so fascinated by it. I'm just really fascinated by it. I love learning. I love honoring my ancestors. I love to know like where they went, what they went through, what did they learn, what was they able to discover along the way, the choices that they made, the decisions that they made, how were they helped. I want to know more things like that and just, be able to envision what it was like for them during that time. Health-wise, I want to know about that type of stuff as well. And I want to know more about like locations, land, residency, things like that. Occupation, jobs, skills and trades, food, cultural things. I want to know about wills, like probate stuff. And another reason like I'm also fascinated about it is because like in my business as a real estate agent, whenever I am trying to locate the owner of a property, sometimes I've had to find records through title, through deeds, and by learning about stuff like that. Like that's really fascinating to me that people have to document, that's how you keep record of stuff. And I like hearing those stories. When I went into the library earlier today, there was a man and he looked like he was like 58. No, excuse me. He looked way older than that. He looked like he was probably like 78. And he was in there just talking this lady ear off about all of the things that he learned and how he was planning a road trip to go travel to Arkansas from California to go and find a relative of his, only to learn right there in that moment through genealogy search and the index and census and all of whatever records he could find that she had passed away. And, for whatever reason, it may be, he's inspired to do it. He's excited about doing that type of stuff. And he wanted to do it. He wanted to see what he could find so that he can go and meet this person and talk to them or whatever. And he didn't sound sad when he found that information, but I'm sure that just given that he was able to get his answers that he was looking for gave him enough gratification, I suppose. Another thing that I could also tell that was really cool when he was speaking is how well he memorized things. And he was like 78 or 80 years old. He was really tall, white guy, really old looking, and he just was looking like he really memorized stuff. So he's not like like old and like shaky or nothing. The man looked really like, you could tell that he's in his youth, right? Even though he's an older man. And he memorized so much stuff. I wonder, and I can only imagine what the stories may be that he tells his children, if he even have them, if he even has children, So yeah, I am very, very excited. Like that has become a hobby of mine. So I'll be definitely documenting any other findings that I come across. Or if I decide to take me a trip, who knows? I just might, because your girl has been places already on my own. I have been to I left home early. I traveled throughout, outside of my city, outside of my state. I've been to multiple states. I've left the country a few times. I've did all of these things underneath the guise of just wanting to discover who I am. And only to find that, first of all, who am I, right? Like, I know who I am now today. And everything that I do around me is an inspiration that it has been inspired by the things that I've discovered. I've cultivated an atmosphere by the things that has been inspired me the most. And I am at a point in my life where I actually don't want to be like traveling and relocating and have to pick up and start over, because there's I just don't want to go anywhere. Like, I'm in California. I love being in California. I don't want to leave California. I enjoy being in California for the most part. It's where my heart is. Do I want to be more in tune with my ancestry and the things that they practice, the great things? Do I want to be more educated and informed? Yes, I want to do all of those beautiful things. I'm an artist and I love painting, so I would like to be able to study more about the culture and the tradition of things and where they were located, and incorporate those findings into my paintings. I would love to do that, because oftentimes most of my paintings is more inspired by like water, because I am an element of water and I'm always flowing. But now it's like, as an alchemist, I want to be able to use the water and bring the waters together and alchemize them for something greater, something bigger. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living and breathing and flowing into that atmosphere all the time, constantly. So I'll be incorporating all of that and all of the information I find into my vlogs and on my artwork and my writings and in my website and everything. But that's all I have today, so I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. But thanks for tuning in. If you're a person too that have pursued your genealogy, leave a comment and let me know how yours has gone. If you are also interested in knowing how I started, or if there's something that I could do to help you get started, then let me know as well, because I'll be very, very interested in helping.